Guys, I've just been to see. I have just been to see Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. This is one of those where I was kind of thinking about whether I should make the video or not. I'm a fan, so I thought, fuck it, fuck anyone who doesn't want to see it, and toodaloo, you know. There's plenty of Pokemon porn out there for you to watch. Leave Transformers videos to the big boys. Transformers nerds, we're the Tony Sopranos of YouTube. Don't fuck with us. So yeah, let's talk about this movie. So there's kind of a big thing to get on when it comes to the story and everything around this film. Even just about like the worlds it's set in, blah blah blah, whether the old films are canon, whether they're not. Before we get into that, you know the drill. If you've been here last time, you know what the situation is. Out of 10 Optimus Primes, I'm gonna give this movie for what the movie is, for what you're meant to take the movie for what it is. Considering, all right, if you were to take the movie for what it is, I'm gonna give this movie out of 10 Optimus Primes 8. I'm gonna say 8. I'm gonna give it 8 Megan Foxes out of 10 Optimus Primes. You know, some of you out there may be going, what? 8 Megan Foxes? That's insane! Well, I have my reasons. I'm gonna go into it. And this is why I said at the beginning, if you're a Transformers fan, because I feel like if we're to take this movie generally for what it's supposed to be, no one's saying that a Transformers film is meant to be breaking cinema. No one's saying that it's supposed to be, you know, perfect cinema with perfect writing, perfect anything. If you take Transformers for what it's meant to be, and for what its goal is, and what it's trying to be, which is a fun action movie that's just fucking awesome, portrays characters that we love. If you're a fan of the animated series, if you're a fan of the other movies, if you're a fan of the games, if you're a fan of the comics, how you love those characters, it portrays them in a really fun way, it portrays them in an original way, but stays true to heart, stays true to what they're supposed to be. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I like Beast Wars, but it was, when going into this movie, I thought, man, it is gonna be hard to translate Beast Wars into a film and make them not really corny and make them kind of fucking badass even. They succeeded in that, which is fucking sick. I mean, not a lot of people can say that about Beast Wars. Let's just get down to the story. So the main antagonist, kind of two, you've got Unicron. He's the big plan. I'm not going to go too deep into lore and blah blah blah. I'm not going to go too deep into all that shit. I'm sticking to the movie itself. I'm not going to start going into the cartoons, all that kind of shit. He is essentially a huge fucking planet transformer that eats other planets. That's how he kind of nourishes himself and that kind of thing. He eats other planets. You've got his underlings, which help him basically. Imagine, right, to put it into like layman's terms for some people, and for those Marvel fans out there that have, you know, don't really give a fuck about Transformers, just imagine Silver Surfer and Galactus. That is the best way to put it. Galactus eats planets, Silver Surfer, don't get me wrong, Silver Surfer isn't a villain, Silver Surfer has his things, but the literal idea of it, it's the same thing. You know, Big Thing eats planets and needs to survive, has its underlings that help him basically seek out planets and get them to basically submit and plant their shit on there so it can get eaten. That is essentially all it is. His underling, his main underling, Scourge, dude, man, like, I wish they stuck a little bit more to, like, comic accuracy with the colours, that kind of thing. It annoys me because they were so good in this film at sticking to comic accuracy or cartoon accuracy, I'll say. With the colours and the way Optimus Prime is portrayed, the way he looks, even the way he transforms. There's this really fucking cool scene at the end of the movie where he just fucking transforms, and it's almost exactly the way he transforms as the toy. By the way, spoiler warning, not forgetting this time, spoiler warning before we go into anything more. At the beginning of the movie where you see Scourge just fight off the Maximal, well, only one of them, Oh, dude, it's so fucking sick. The way, like, it's just this cool-ass shot of him walking through the woods, and his theme is hitting. They gave him, like, a fucking really cool, creepy theme. His eyes are glowing. He's just kind of walking through the woods in the dark, and it's so sick. Such a cool fucking movie. This movie really unlocked the child in me. I'm so happy to finally say that about a Transformers movie after so fucking long. I mean, if you remember the last two dookie-ass films, apart from Bumblebee was awesome. But, you know, if you think of Age of Extinction, which, you know, I'll give that movie a pass, but goddamn, like, I'm giving that movie a pass in the sense that you're a mother that's just found out your son fucking jerks off in the fucking children's pool. Like, you know, there's fucking, you can't defend it. It's fucked. But you're the mum. And, you know, there's something about you that's kind of like, okay, like, I love you, but come on, man. I'm not even gonna fucking defend fucking, I can't even remember what the fucking movie's called. It's that bad. That movie is ass. That movie is fucking dookie with a capital Duke. Like, there's no defending that bad boy. That one's a fucking stinker. So coming off of those movies and trying to, you know, Bumblebee took a little bit of a step back, gave us the story and a little origin story of Bumblebee, focused a lot more on the character, focused a lot more on just the heart of what Transformers can be rather than the action and everything like that. No, it's in the movie, but, you know. This movie was the first to come back to be, you know, Transformers. This is almost the start. Bumblebee was technically the start of this new set of films. But this, like, was the first label Transformers. So going into it, you were like, god damn, I mean, let's just hope. I mean, coming off of the night, you know, whatever the fuck that shit movie was called, the fucking poo-poo night, you gotta pull some shit out of the bag. This movie, I promise you, if you're a Transformers fan, pulls out of the bag fine. It's fine. Movie definitely has its ups and downs. I'll get into that as I carry on in this review. But, yeah, if you're a fan of Transformers, you've got nothing to worry about. Definitely go and see it. And even just for what it's about to set up, I mean, if you're a fan of this kind of shit, man, I'll get to that at the end of the video. I definitely had my ups and downs. For example, I've given a few ups. I'll tell you what, I'll give a few more ups and then I'll keep them as separate kind of entities. I'll give my ups, my downs, and then the ending kind of thing. All of the characters, I'm not even gonna lie, they were all done great. The only character that I don't think was really done that well was RC. Not that she wasn't done well, it was just that she wasn't really a character that was used or utilized, like, at all in this film. Like, it was really just, she was there, looking fucking hot, with her perky little robot tits, and that was it. Nothing else. That bitch basically could have just fucking dipped and we would have not noticed. There's like a fucking stupid ass scene where she's hiding inside of a Transformer. I can't remember what his name is, but she's literally hiding inside of him when they're all meant to be parked and kind of keeping an eye out on shit and making sure that the Decepticons aren't, I'm saying Decepticons, but you know what I'm saying. Like, that shit was stupid, I'm just gonna say. But apart from that, in my opinion, I think all of them were done well. I think all of them were done fun. You enjoy watching all of them. There wasn't one that, when they were on screen, you didn't enjoy watching. Yeah, just done very, very well. Optimus, I'm going to go into him. Oh my god, man. Finally, they did Optimus. I mean, Optimus has done, they did Optimus justice in the original kind of trilogy. That kind of thing, don't get me wrong. And if you've seen the, there's this, Netflix series, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Netflix series that they made of it's a series, but it's like 3 seasons, and they kind of portray them as if they're movies, but they're episodes, it's like episodic, and it's like an anime-ish, you know, animated, talking about the war on Cybertron, that kind of shit. And oh dude, if you haven't seen those, like, the way they portray Optimus and everything, it reminded me of that show. Like, it really did. They do such a good job of just giving us a sense of realism and a reasoning for why Optimus has is the way he is, and why Optimus is has certain opinions. When you watch Transformers 1, and Optimus is just like, yo, I fuck with humans, you know, they're cool, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because, which, by the way, I know they're meant to be separate universes, I'm not saying that. It's, you know, I talked to my cousin about this shit a lot, because he's a big Transformers fan, way before I ever was, so he told me that apparently the creators are kind of keeping it open, where they don't know if they want it to be a spin-off yet, or if they don't know if they want it to carry, you know, be a continuation and be canon, you know, if they want the older films, the Michael Bay films, to still be canon. So apparently there's kind of this really weird middle grey area where they don't know what they want yet. From the way I'm looking at it from this movie, they're definitely going to be going down the full-on reboot way. But anyway, what I was saying was that this movie does such a good job of, if the Michael Bay movies are canon, it does such a good job of showing why Optimus is that way in those Michael Bay films. Why he's just so for humans. In this movie, he's not. Like, he is straight up like, fuck humans, I don't give a fuck. Like, I just want to get home. That's really all I want. I want us to get back to the war, fuck with my boys, and just, like, dip this planet. You know, you kind of agree with him when you... And they just give him so much depth in this movie. And, like, the things that he says, the things that he chooses to do... Oh, man, like, you just fuck with it. Like, and Optimus anyway, he's just such a sick character. Optimus Primal, now, damn, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of thinking how they're gonna make Optimus Primal cool. He's just, you know, when you think about design-wise, the way they act, the way they talk, I was like, he can't really be cooler. Man was fucking one of the sickest ones in the film. He was easily one of the coolest ones. There's this really cool scene with Bumblebee. You know, Bumblebee is just kind of there for the movie. You love seeing him. Doesn't really say much. Doesn't really do much. They deadass just kill him off in the middle of the movie. This is where I come back to one of my disappointments of the movie, if you would call it that. I think they should have just stuck with it, had enough balls to be like, yo, Bumblebee's gone. Even if it was to bring him back in the next movie. So the way they do it in this film is that there's this fight kind of 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the film. Bumblebee gets killed, and, like, Scourge just fucking pulls his insides out and just fucking is like, yo, fuck you. Frozen, Bumblebee dies, and I was like, holy shit, like, Optimus is nearly crying and shit. The music's emotional, the way it's directed is like, I was really in my head thinking, dude is dead. Like, they're using this as a full-on bro is gone. Literally 10 minutes later, he's on a plane, and they're just, like, holding his body, and it's like, how can we bring him back? He's like, oh, it's impossible, we need all of this energy. We need all of this energy which can bring him back. Yeah, you're fighting one of the biggest fucking villains there is. I guarantee it's going to take a lot of energy to kill him, so there you go. By the end of the movie, you know, take a big guess at what happens. Yeah, he comes back, like, later in the end of the movie. He comes down, he does this cool fighting scene. It's cool, I'm not dissing it, it's fucking fire. But I think as a movie, I would have liked to see Bumblebee just stuck out. And we've had a movie with him, so we've been able to see this Bumblebee. We've been able to live and, you know, get to know him a little bit. If you were to take him out the way you did in this movie at the beginning and end it with, like, yeah, they've got his body, but end the movie with him not coming back. That would have just been such a good cliffhanger, in my opinion. Bring him back in the next one. I mean, you're obviously doing the next one. I know that you're trying to play it. I know that the creators are trying to play it kind of close to their hat, like close to their chest, where they don't know if they're gonna get another movie, but let's be honest, they will. It's fucking Transformers. So I think they should have just held out, keep him gone, and then bring him back. What they did in this movie, where he comes back at the end and joins the fight, do that for the next movie. I think that would have been I just think that would have been a better way of doing that scene. But, you know, apart from that, it was cool. It was nice to see Bumblebee ripping heads. There's this fucking sick part where he just deadass pops a head off. Badass. Just rips a fucking Decepticon up. Let's talk about the heroes, I guess we'll say, of the movies, which is the humans. I can't even remember the guy's name. He was a good character, but I'm just being dumb. I can't remember his name. He's cool. It kind of does two. You've got two characters. You've got this guy, you've got this girl, or woman, I'll say. You've got this dude and this woman, and they kind of join paths because she finds the thing, like this ancient artifact that's brung back from the planet that the Maximals were from. He has to steal it for the Autobots because all of this shit, they end up meeting paths. Yeah, they're fine. I feel like that you're never... I said this to my cousin last night. Shout out to Thomas. I said this to him last night. I was saying that I don't know how you will be able to top Sam Witwicky. Whether it's nostalgia, whether it's just Shia LaBeouf, I don't know what it may be. There is something about Sam Witwicky. I don't think he'll ever be topped. Like, I think it's hard to make a good... When you've got a movie that's focusing so much on... Not even focusing so much. When you've got a movie that... We all know why we're here. You know, I know when I was a kid, I was going to see Transformers for two things. Robots fighting and fucking doing cool shit, and Megan Fox. You know, in this movie, it is one of those things where they do a good job of... I'll say this, they do a good job of just making it fly by. Here's the characters, here's their like kind of background. It lasts for about 30 minutes. After that, pure robots. You know, we don't focus too much on the humans. We kind of get when we need to see them. There's a part where they go in the cave, but even then, we're still getting flashes up to the Autobots and stuff. This movie does a good job of just knowing what we're there for. It knows why we're here. It knows that we want to see Transformers fighting. It knows that we want to see Optimus Prime, and it doesn't waste any time showing us. So I can give that as a big fucking benefit, because I know a lot of the other movies, even the good ones, like Revenge of the Fallen, even Dark of the Moon, they lose themselves a little bit when it comes to the humans and showing them a bit too much. It was always just a bit too much for my liking as a kid. You know, which is fine. I get that you're trying to lay... I know that you're trying to lay a plot. I know that you're trying to lay a story. But as a kid, you know, that shit bored me. I just wanted to see some fighting. So this movie, yeah, I'll give it the up. You know, main character isn't dreadful to watch. I'm going to give that an absolute... Well, I think that's a win. I think that is definitely a win. He has a little brother, which, yeah, you know, gives him the incentive, I guess, for why we want him to be back home, why we want him to get home, and that kind of thing, and the love, the bomb kind of thing. Yeah, it's cool, it's fine. Acting, I mean, the kid acting was ass. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but, like, kid actors, don't take it to heart, because kid actors, if this kid ever fucking somehow watches this video, don't take it to heart, because... You know, kid acting is always just never really pulled off. It's rare when that shit's pulled off. Acting in general, yeah, alright. I mean, it's not why you're there. I mean, yeah, the acting's decent, but, you know, we're there for some CGI tits. Yeah, as an overall movie, I think that it was just really well done. I think the action is fucking awesome. The action is just... It has a nice flow in this movie where it always felt like, right... We're seeing Transformers, but no action, and then when you're thinking, oh, okay, there you go, there's the action, gives you a little bit of a rest, lets you show off the characters, back in the action, gives you a little rest, and, you know, characters talk, develop the plot, back into the action. It really does have a nice pace for this movie. I love that, because I love when a director can, I don't know who the director was for this movie, but I love when a director can just know what you're there for. He's very clearly a fan, and he's very clearly thought before, you know what, this is what I want to go and see. So I'm just going to make that. I'm going to make sure that's a thing. By the end of the movie, you know, I think it should have had a lot more casualties. Quite literally, there are no casualties in this film. Nobody suffers. I mean, yeah, alright, people suffer, but, like, obviously Bumblebee dies. Mirage dies. You know, they come back and, you know, make their big thing, and... It's cool. I just feel like, for example, when they killed Bumblebee off, and I kind of thought, right, he's dead, but then they were going to bring him back, and I was like, oh, okay. And then later on, Mirage gets killed, or you think he's going to get killed, and you're like, oh, okay, so Mirage is going to be the main death of the film. Then he comes back, and he turns into... I have to talk about this, by the way. I'm sorry, I have to talk about this. This is another part which I didn't really get. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. If somebody can explain this shit in the comments, big Transformers nerds out there, please explain this to me. So, why is it that Mirage... So, Mirage is getting blown to fucking smithereens. And he's over the human of the movie, I can't remember his name, and looking after him. He's trying to make sure he doesn't get blown apart. He dies, but then you realise he doesn't die because he's still got life in him. And he goes, oh, Mirage, what's up? And he just goes, oh, yeah, man, like, I'm alive, but I'm gonna need you to take the wheel. And he turns into, like, a fucking Power Ranger suit and, like, on the dude. And he's powerful as fuck. Like, he's actually, like, swerving. He grabs, there's a part where Optimus is nearly flying away. He grabs Optimus by the leg and he's, like, holding him back. And I was thinking, like, bro was dead. Bro basically got blown to fucking pieces. And yeah, he's alive. But if anything, wouldn't he just be weak as fuck? And like, how has he got the strength right now to hold Optimus Prime by the leg, one-handed? Holding that motherfucker so he doesn't fly off. That makes no sense. In my opinion, I mean, that was just a one scene which I thought, man, that's fucking stupid. I'm willing to look past that because it's just a cool scene. I'll use the excuse of his foot. You know, you see that he uses a booster pack. He uses like a jetpack. I'm going to use that will be my excuse to make myself feel better about that scene, that he uses the jetpack to blast away. Feet were grabbing, you know, feet maybe were clenching to the floor. I'll argue that in my head. By the end of the movie, you know, I just wish there was a little bit more casualty. I wish we got at least one death, or even just keep Bumblebee dead till the next film. Just so we kind of had something to come out of the movie and go, wow, I can't believe they did that. Or, oh yeah, like, he died, that's sad. You know, just something. And considering when it's against a fucking villain like Unicron, dude, come on. I know Unicron's probably going to come back, but you're really telling me that Unicron nearly fucking came into this shit and nobody died? Let's be real. We're going to get to the end of the movie. This is where there's a big fucking plot, like a big reveal. Basically, the main character goes to a job interview and he's talking to the dude and he tells him, oh yeah, I know about you, I know what you did, I know that you saved the Earth, blah, blah, blah. You're hanging around with the you're hanging around with these Autobots, you know, or I don't think he knows they're Autobots, I think he just calls them robots, and he's like, we know you're hanging around with them, we know that they fucking with you, hook up with us, well, you know, you've got like free healthcare and shit now. Which I love at the end of the movie, like, I love that that's the American win at the movie, is that he just gets, after saving the fucking world, like, after saving the planet from Unicron, this dude, this one man, I love that his reward is his, right, okay dude, you earned it, his free healthcare, like, you earned it, bro, don't worry, your little brother earned that, you know, you got that for your little bro, free healthcare, bro. Not for everyone in your family, just you and your brother, you know, like, don't worry, we've hooked you up. So anyway, he tells him all this shit about, yeah, I hope you'll join us, and the main character's like, whoa, like, what you talking about? Dude hands him a card, he turns it around, and he says, alright, join us if you ever think about changing your mind, whatever, and it says G.I. Joe on the card. There's the big reveal. G.I. Joe is now canon to Transformers. I don't know how I feel about this, that we're gonna get a Transformers G.I. Joe spin-off, whatever it may be. I imagine they'll just make a Transformers film, and G.I. Joe will, you know, the members of G.I. Joe, whoever that may be, I reckon that if they fit into the story, they'll just be in the film, if that makes sense. I reckon, like, I reckon the movie will still be Transformers, it's just that, you know, when soldiers get involved. So, for example, I imagine the next film will get quite crazy when it comes to war. I imagine soldiers will have to get involved. We need the best soldiers on the job. Who are the best soldiers? G.I. Joe. So I imagine that's probably the way it will work. It won't be Transformers versus G.I. Joe. I don't imagine it'll be any of that shit. The Hasbro Cinematic Universe, bro. The HCU is here. The one we've all been waiting for. Marvel is fucking quivering. So we're gonna get, like, Transformers meets My Little Pony. We were discussing our theories on the Monopoly Man joining in. We're gonna get fucking Optimus versus fucking Unicron on Mayfair. I don't know how to feel about that. You know, it's cool. It really threw me off guard. I didn't know if I was fucking high as shit or something. I was like, bro, what the fuck is happening? I was like, what is going on? But yeah, G.I. Joe's in it, so we're gonna see some of that. I imagine they'll try and throw some more in there, whatever it may be. I don't really know what they fully own. But I know they own, like, Power Rangers, and especially with the whole suit scene in this, which I know is in the cartoon. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it did remind me of Power Rangers low-key when he turns it, you know, into the suit. You know, whatever they may do with that, you never know. I imagine they'll try and figure a way out to shove as much shit in there as they can. This Transformers is definitely worth the watch. Definitely one of the better Transformers movies since the originals. I would honestly rank this, if I had to rank the good Transformers films, I mean, obviously the bottom, let's not even talk about the bottom, let's just say my top 3, definitely Transformers 1, this, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say maybe this movie is coming in like 3rd or 4th. I think it's only coming in like 3rd because Transformers 1 and Transformers Dark of the Moon are just... Transformers 1's so nostalgic, and Transformers Dark of the Moon is just a fucking cool film. But this is definitely coming in at like a solid 3rd. Yeah, so I'm gonna end it there. I think I'm gonna give Transformers Rise of the Beasts a solid 8 Megan Foxes out of 10 Optimus Primes. Tell you what, this movie was fucking crazy. There's this like whole scene where fucking Megatron is just about to like fucking jump to he literally just jumps all the way up to Unicron, and bro just whips his fucking dick out.